On May 22, 2024, the IAPD, under the chairmanship of Imboni Dr. Uzwilezwe Radebe, hosted the 5th Africa Spiritual Day at the African Union AU headquarters in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. Africa Spiritual Day is an event that seeks to educate the people of Africa about their spirituality, as well as to unite all Africa so as to bring about peace and common understanding. This prestigious event was attended by thousands within the continent and the diaspora, virtually and physically.
Dear Excellencies of the African Union Commissioner, all distinguished representatives of the African Union, today's celebration exemplifies how this cooperation, centered on shared spiritual values, can make a profound impact. By partnering with the IAPD, an association of the Universal Peace Federation, the African Union has demonstrated a serious commitment to realizing its major aspirations for peace,
including members of AU, executive members of IAPD Africa, and AFIS, to name a few. Themed to educate the African person to be spiritually fit in the 21st century, spiritual and religious leaders took to the podium and shared their ideals on how the people of Africa can become spiritually fit.
Distinguished speakers, honored religious leaders, I'm truly happy and grateful to be with all of you in this historical occasion. Each one of you, each one of us here could be a role model. Dr. Radebe is already a shining role model. Mother Moon is another great model. She initiated the idea of Africa Spiritual Day.
Distinguished invited religious leaders from other faith communities and our Imboni, all the way from Cape Town. Distinguished guests, dear brothers and sisters, through interreligious dialogue and exchange of ideas among the world religious and faith-based organizations, terrorism, violent extremism, and other ills in our world can be proactively addressed. Spiritual and religious leaders are well suited to deal with community-based concerns and can play a significant role in reconciliation and establishing a culture of peace.
Africa Spiritual Day is such a welcome initiative. It serves as a reminder that the most valuable asset for an African person is their relationship with God, with the Creator. As Pope Benedict XVI once said, I quote, "Africa represents an immense spiritual longing for a humanity that seems to be in a crisis of faith and hope," end of quote. In Africa, we have a saying, it takes a village to educate or to raise a child.
I would like to begin by thanking the African Union AU for hosting us here today. To the organizers of this prestigious gathering, we are all gathered here to celebrate and have a better understanding of each other's realities and beliefs, and consequently tap into our essence as an ALKEBULAN African indigenous people, which is our spirituality, under the theme, educating the African person to be spiritually fit in the 21st century. For Africa to regain her temperament, we need to go back in time and relearn the true ways of Africa, ALKEBULAN people. What did it mean to be spiritual? And how did the ancients connect to the spiritual dimension and spiritual deities? It is only through the acceptance, acknowledgement, and the practice of African spirituality in its true, most honest form that we can begin to direct African back on her spiritual path. Thus, the definition of spirituality will serve as a starting point for Africans to understand what spirituality is. Spirituality transcends religion.
The IAPD has achieved a great milestone in the endeavor to achieve world peace and the unity of all, regardless of their beliefs and political disposition. The IAPD has indeed taken a great leap into the desired future that it envisages for all of Africa. Ah, Africa. Ah, Africa.